In this video I would like to explain why I published a few videos which are just moving text depicting the formal structure, the formal organization of the logic in three parts. Hegel's philosophy of nature and the structure of the empirical modern sciences of nature that we find in textbooks broadly. And my will is to test if Hegel's system is true or not, and if it must be modified in order to attain truth, or if it already contained conceptually the full knowledge of the eternal truth. We shall see. And I have already said this in many videos, but wherever there is a we are separate modes, separate individuals of the one same divine totality, becoming conscious of itself, and we are a movement of self-producing knowledge about ourselves, because we are within being, and all the knowledge that is produced by human endeavors and human theoretical and practical activity is a knowledge of being. And because of my position, because I am what Hegel calls the negative, which is the individual which is separated from this divine totality and which is the cause of separation, and I see the unity of all things and the self-moving process of knowledge being drawn out of being and being conceptualized unconsciously. I see this because I experience separation, and because of the situation we find ourselves in, every individual feels separated from God, and God is our essential identity or conceptual identity in a way, and we can reunite with God through a cognitive process of understanding. And I would like to read a passage from this book, Hegel and the Hermetic Tradition, about Oettinger, a German theologian of the 18th century, in the chapter The Rose in the Cross. And hopefully Oettinger was correct, we will see. He believed that at the end of time, not only would all men live in perfect harmony, but science would be transformed. No longer would there be a multitude of disconnected sciences. A new super science would arise that would unify all knowledge. Oettinger's new science, as we might call it, is a version of Pansophia. The coming together of these gifts of the Spirit occurs in a central vision, exalting the faith of the kingdom's subjects to the level of knowledge, of an intellectual intuition. Honestly, I don't know what is possible, but I hope that individual consciousnesses, individual minds will be able to experience what is called a synoptic vision of the totality, that whatever their position within the divine totality, they will be able to see and experience the knowledge of God and of Spirit from their point of view. And it will be very easy to understand, says Oettinger. God will present all things in an intuitive form, and we will see his reckonings in an architectural vision, in detail and in its totality, in the physical as in the moral. But above all, we will have a very clear knowledge of the history of nations. At this moment, the history of nations is being self-produced by writers, intellectuals, politicians, leaders who because they have a will to preserve their people or to defend the interests of their people or whatever, they write books and stories of their nations, and we are witnessing knowledge being self-produced. And the only thing that I can bring to this process is the vision of the totality, and to try to become the connection, the missing link, so to speak, between the various modes of this spiritual totality, this encyclopedic totality of which we're all parts. And yeah. Jurisprudence and medicine will be inseparable from theology. History will be the public theater of God's ways and of providence, of all the phrases of Solomon. It will be the source of all knowledge. The law will come from theology, and medicine will be no more than an emblematic theology. We will see in souls and in bodies the imprint of the being from whom all things have come forth. And all aspects of man and his world will be united in cognition, religious life, art, our understanding of history, of science, of government. Yeah. The peace of the Golden Age will be made known first through the harmonious unification of all sciences. And I repeat, because of my position within being, I have seen the broad picture of the totality becoming conscious of itself. And what I am seeking to do is to make others see what I see, and to enlighten them so that they might enlighten me. And yeah, one day people will understand me and my position, and they will probably acknowledge that it is difficult to be in my position, and that at this moment in time I try to do my mediocre best to save what can be saved. But I'm not doing enough, but it's difficult.